2021 budget proposal. Angry youths barricade upper mission extension for hours over alleged invasion of community. And court freezes Lagos speaker's accounts. In entertainment, DMW rapper Lou Frosh arrested for beating girlfriend to pulp.
And in sport, Randall Wardrum drums new agenda for the Super Falcons.
Details of these and more after this break. I am Omoye Obeide. President Muhammadu Buhari has presented the 2021 budget proposal of 13.08 trillion naira to the National Assembly for consideration and passage into law. The president, who was accompanied by Vice President Emil Shibanja, some cabinet members and presidential aides, arrived at the premises of the National Assembly at about 3 minutes past 11 a.m. He explained that the total aggregate revenue projected for the 2021 budget was 7.86 trillion, with a deficit of 5.2 trillion, representing 3.4% of the GDP.
The 2021 appropriation has therefore been themed the budget of economic recovery and resilience. Furthermore, the Central Bank of Nigeria is reducing the interest rate on its intervention facilities from 9% to 5% with 1-year moratorium to 31st March 2021 to provide concessional lending of 100 billion naira to households and small businesses. The government is already implementing several measures to overcome our fiscal constraints, in addition to the strategic revenue growth initiatives.
And presiding officers of the National Assembly, Ahmed Lawan and Femi Gbajabiamila, have pledged to pass the 2021 budget before the end of the year. The two lawmakers made this known on Thursday in separate remarks after President Muhammadu Buhari presented the 2021 budget estimates. In his brief welcome address, Lawan expressed the readiness of the parliament to pass the 2021 budget before the end of the year. He said the passage of the 2021 budget and assent in good time was a clear indication of the smooth working relationship between the executive and the legislature.
The eventual passage of the Appropriation Bill 2020 and signing into law in record time was a clear testimony of the benefits of the legislature and the executive working together for the good of the people of this country.
In his closing remarks, Gbajabiamila also thanked his colleagues for making the budget circle from January to December a reality.
Senators and members of the House of Representatives toiled night and day, sometimes through the night and into the wee hours of the morning, to ensure that we achieved our commitment to return to the January to December budget cycle as envisaged by the Constitution. I do not doubt that we will exhibit the same commitment to nation building and deliver a good budget on time. We cannot afford a return to the old practices, and we must do everything in our power to avoid such an outcome.
Nigeria has in the past 7 years operated an irregular budget cycle. And the Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Ehanire, has reviewed that 22 persons have so far tested positive for coronavirus among the 1,473 persons of interest tested since the reopening of the nation's international airspace. Ehanire stated this at the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 briefing on Thursday in Abuja. He said the persons were among the passengers who recently returned from overseas. The minister maintained that the testing and tracing capabilities have improved a lot since, such that virtually every state has at least one laboratory that has increased the country's daily testing capacity to about 3,500. And beneficiaries of the Governor Godwin Obaseki-led administration's job creation and skills acquisition programs under the Edo State Skills Development Agency, Edo Jobs, will begin to offer free products and other services to some residents today. Executive Director, Edo Jobs, Ukenebo Dare, who spoke to journalists in Benin City, said the charity event was put together by the different beneficiaries of the agency's intervention programs in the last 3 years in celebration of the governor's re-election. According to her, the program is tagged Edo Jobber's Thanksgiving and Charity Event. She said some of the products and services to be offered include free food, haircut, medical services and clothing for the less privileged, amongst others. And for several hours, Upper Mission Road by Lucky Way Junction was barricaded by Ute Ekoko community youths in protest against invasion of the community by unknown gunmen allegedly sponsored by one Saturday Omori. The protesters, who condemned the alleged harassment meted out to them by Omori, who has imposed himself as the Enoge, called on Governor Godwin Obaseki, the Oba of Benin, and other relevant authorities to urgently come to their aid.
The protest caused motorists to take alternative routes. The protesters, mainly dominated by youth, said there has been sporadic shooting in the community and has led many of the people to flee to a safe haven.
Go past us from Ring Road, take us serious. Our wife and our children are on the sleepers again. Even me on the sleepers for about 2 weeks.
They said they can no longer cope with the excesses of Saturday Omoruyi, who has imposed himself as the Enoge of the community and was reconstituting some faceless persons as officials of the disbanded Community Development Association, CDA. Secretary of the community, Lucky Asemota, and Dele Osage said they have fled the community following the continuous shooting.
As we are speaking now, nobody is in the village. All his talks, OPC, they are there, humiliating people here about. Even when you are going to somewhere, just stop them, start fighting them, beating them brutally. Most of our wives we left at home. These people, they are molesting them. Please, because we don't need CDA, is trying to implement CDA into that community. Please, Governor Oba Benin, Oba Atokwe should come to our aid.
6 months ago, Saturday Omoyi came to Ute, say he's now the president Elogi of Ute. With the committee, we are not aware of it. He went into Elogi's house, he broke the doors, searched everything, he started operating there. From there, Elogi went to State CID and he arrested him. Saturday, John Bay, up till now, didn't go to station. All of a sudden, 3 days ago, we saw him with 3 different homeless. They started shooting gun. They will run for our dear lives.
Asemta said the case of Enoge title is already before an Edo High Court in Benin City.
There is a court case pending High Court 6 in respect of this chieftaincy title, of which he refused to attend court. So they are waiting for him to go and answer in the court.
Some of their wives and female relatives, including Mrs. Favor Oduware, are also lamenting the situation in the community.
The gang of the Saturday, they come. As they come, they begin to push one of our mother for the community there. Go back it us. The gang come, they begin to use gun, they pursue us around us. Then we run come out, we run go governor house. Make governor come to our rescue. We beg governor. We beg the commissioner of police. People when they don't say they'll help us, make they come to our rescue. So they don't let us stay us again. Outside, then we day. I beg. We don't need CDA for our community.
They said it was being aided by a prominent chief in Benin City. Worried by the development, the people wrote a petition dated 5th of October through their lawyer Olaiwola Afolabi to the Commissioner of Police Johnson Kukumo, calling on him to act urgently and ensure that the culprits are brought to book. Meanwhile, when contacted on phone, Saturday Omori denied all the allegations leveled against him, saying he was harmless.
So I don't have any thoughts or any doing with people or whatever. I think what is really going on, it is about my father's house. My father's house now, if you can see, is like a forest. They said no man or woman should enter the compound. And for 1 year now, nobody inside the Enoge compound. I can only just say and see my father's house broken, pushing like a forest. For long, they drove me away from the house. And I don't want to be looking at it like that again. That is why I come back home. And when we were here yesterday, we didn't see any of them. I only just come with the First Water Police Command. I didn't come with any thoughts.
Upper Mission Road was later cleared for free flow of traffic. Nusa High Uwadia, KUFM News.
And the NSAS protest continued on Thursday in Benin City as youths led by National Association of Nigerian Students and civil society activists took to streets calling for the restructuring of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The demonstration, which entered the third day, is held in many other states of the Federation, including Lagos State and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Here in Benin City, the protest took off at the popular Oba Ovorare Square, and they marched through Sapler Road down to Reservation Road. The protesters had a brief stop at NUJ Press Center where they registered their protests.
Police has been abusing our rights, not once, not twice, but every time they see us on the way, not just only in SARS, but the full police force, they have taken advantage of the rights they have given to them. They are taking advantage of it. You see a policeman stopping on the way without no offense, nothing. They bring you down and say you go and enter their car.
So we are here this morning to vent our spleen against the monstrosity, the brutality of personnel of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The constitutional duties of the police are one, to maintain law and order, to detect crime, to protect lives and property. But today, police are now thorns in the flesh of our people. Edo youths can no longer dress properly for fear of being embarrassed.
The Secretary of NUJ, Edo State Council, Titus Akigbe, said the federal government was already aware of their protest and asked them to go about it peacefully.
The federal government has really made a pronouncement on this. Something is being done. It's a security matter. It will be handled. On our part here, I want to assure you people that my people will do the needful. We will do justice to your complaints.
From the NUJ, they marched to the Edo State Police Headquarters, Benin City, lamenting the activities of SARS. They were advised to end the protest in order not to be infiltrated by hoodlums.
We have heard what you have said. I can assure you, we are going to give you a good feedback. Let me tell you one thing. Nigerian police is not a foreign importation. It is you and I that make all the police. If you know you are doing a very good job here, the bad ones will add to you and cause more havoc. Let there be sense of belonging and unity in diversity. What is enough for a wise man? Please, I can assure you, all what you have given to us right now, that the police are not supposed to be on mufti on a uniform. I can assure you, this has been taken care of. We are going to give all of you a good feedback. Don't take one in your hand, because you cannot build a moon out of a mountain.
There were traffic jams in parts of Benin City where the protest lasted. Meanwhile, NSAS protesters kept vigil on Thursday at the entrance of the Lagos House of Assembly, Ikeja. They built tents at the entrance, which police operatives dismantled and carted away. The visibly angry protesters refused to back down despite threats to disperse them after policemen destroyed the tents where they had camped for 2 nights. Around 10 p.m., the street lights, which provided illumination for the protesters, were switched off, creating fear of possible threats or attacks. Speaker Mudashiru Obasa and his entourage later arrived at the scene to appeal to the protesters. He assured the protesters that there would be an emergency meeting Friday morning with the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and other concerned authorities. And coming up in a moment, 4 kidnapped commuters rescued in Delta State. This and more on Entertainment News. This and more when I come back.
At split seconds, there is a lot happening around us, but we can't be everywhere all the time. We've got work, families, and chores to cater to, and most importantly, time to rest. And that's why having a reliable partner like KUFM News is important. Sleeping? We don't. We work round the clock, bringing you stories as they break from Nigeria and across the world. We would stop at nothing to keep you informed, because KUFM News is all about you and stories that affect you. Politics, business, human interests, sports, entertainment, just name it. We've got you covered. KUFM News. Timely, precise, spot on.
You're Welcome back. Still in the bulletin, the Central Bank of Nigeria has warned against fraudulent messages and videos in social media circles requesting unsuspecting loan seekers and owners of small-scale businesses to apply for loans or investment schemes purportedly facilitated by the bank. In a statement, the Apex Bank asked members of the public, particularly youths and owners of small-scale businesses, to disregard any video or text message proposing investment schemes or charging fees on the pretext that their organizations are endorsed by the CBN. Prospective applicants are therefore advised to approach their respective banks, microfinance bank or the CBN branch nearest to them for clarification on the procedure for accessing any CBN-related facility. And 4 kidnapped victims along the Ekrave section of the East-West Road in Ughelli North Council area of Delta have been rescued. A driver of interstate transit bus was among the rescued 4 on Thursday evening. Unspecified number of travelers were reportedly kidnapped by unknown gunmen around 6 p.m. while returning to Warri on Wednesday evening. At least 5 persons were feared to have been shot in the attack and receiving treatments at various undisclosed hospitals. The Delta State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Onovakunyaya confirmed the rescue reports yesterday night. She assured that the police have intensified efforts in ensuring all those abducted regain their freedom and are reunited with their families. And the Police Service Commission says it has dispatched a high-powered monitoring team of the 3 senatorial zones of Ondo State to monitor the conduct of policemen on electoral duties during Saturday's governorship election in the state. The team left Abuja with the Commission's guidelines for policemen on election duties and a checklist to measure the level of compliance or not by the operatives. The Commission's spokesman, Ikechukwu Ani, in a statement in Abuja on Thursday, disclosed that the agency was also setting up a situation room in Abuja to coordinate the activities of its monitors in Ondo State. And elsewhere, the People's Democratic Party has rejected the chief returning officer for the Ondo election, who is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ife, Professor Eyitokpe Ogunbodede. A statement by the chairman of the PDP Ondo State Governorship National Campaign Council, Seyi Makinde, said the party alleged that Professor Ogunbodede is a known crony of the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate Rotimi Akeredolu and hails from the same hometown, Owo. The PDP claims that Professor Ogunbodede will not be fair in the discharge of his duty as the Ondo governorship election chief returning officer. And a federal high court sitting in Lagos has ordered the temporary freezing of 3 accounts belonging to the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa. The order was pursuant to a motion ex parte filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which is investigating the Speaker for alleged fraud. Obasa's 3 accounts with Standard Chartered Bank are under restrictions pending the conclusion of the substantive probe. The order, which was signed by the court's registrar, Adegbimpe Oni, was made on 15th of September 2020. According to reports, Obasa has been in the custody of the EFCC responding to allegations of fraud. The spokesman for the EFCC, Wilson Iwajare, said Obasa was invited and he honored the invitation on Thursday. Obasa, who is a 2-time Speaker of the House, has been facing several allegations of corruption. And 5 persons have been confirmed dead following a gas plant explosion that occurred in the Ipaja area of Lagos on Thursday. The Director General of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Dr. Olufemi Okeosaintolu, said the incident occurred around 6 a.m., destroying several properties. An official of the Nigerian Emergency Management Agency who spoke at the scene said the generator caused the fire. 25 houses, 16 lock-up shops and a primary school were also affected by the fire. The incident is coming barely 2 weeks after a tanker explosion occurred in the Ajuwon area of the state. And coming up in a moment on entertainment news, DMW former rapper Lil Frosh arrested for beating girlfriend to pulp. This and more on entertainment news. Moving on to news break on KU 92.7 FM Benin City. Some entertainment stories. Former Davido Music Worldwide DMW rapper Sani Goriola Wasiu, popularly known as Lil Fresh, has been arrested for beating up his girlfriend Gift Camille. The former DMW rapper is currently being detained at the Alagbo police station, Ikoyi, Lagos State. His arrest comes shortly after Nigerian singer Davido terminated the contract between him and his record label DMW over domestic violence on Monday, October 5th. The fast-rising rapper was called out on Monday by the brother and manager of his girlfriend Camille for beating her to a pulp. An American rapper, fashion designer Kanye West has stated that he now has a net worth of $5 billion after falling $53 million in debt. The 43-year-old rapper took to Twitter on Thursday to celebrate his finances. The tweet comes after Business Insider revealed on Monday that he disclosed his financial assets and liabilities as part of his candidature for the presidential elections. In the documents obtained by the outlets, the rapper values three of his companies, Yeezy LLC, Yeezy Apparel LLC, and Yeezy Footwear LLC, at $50 million each. His assets also include his music-related intellectual property, which is valued between $5 million and $25 million, and publishing and content creation, Firm West Brands LLC, valued at up to $5 million. He additionally has stakes in Adidas, valued between $25 million and $15 million, also with stakes in Nike between $5 million and $25 million. However, the father of four revealed in the document that he has up to $100 million in debt, mostly from mortgages. And that's it from entertainment to sports. Newly appointed Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum has drummed new agenda for the team. This and more on our sports decks.
Good morning and welcome to Sport News. I'm Sanofi Francis. A newly appointed Super Falcons coach Randy Waldrum has said his goal is to take the Nigerian team to new heights in women football development. The Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) settled for Waldrum to prepare the team for the 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations and the 2023 World Cup that follows. The Super Falcons have been without a coach after Swede coach Thomas Deneby left and the team failed to qualify for the 2020 Olympics, which has been moved to next year. Away from the pitch to the court, where Stefanos Tsitsipas will attempt to strike another blow for the next generation when he plays world number one Novak Djokovic in Friday's French Open semi-finals at the Roland Garros. The Dig 22 would be the youngest man to reach a Grand Slam final in 11 years after he makes Sunday's showpiece. The Argentina Diego Schwartzman, 28, faces 12-time champion Rafael Nadal in the first semi-final also on Friday. Victory will make Schwartzman only the third man to beat Nadal at the event. Nadal lost to Sweden's Robin Söderling and Serb Novak Djokovic in 2009 and 2015 respectively, and withdrew prior to his third round match in 2016 with a wrist injury. Each of the 34-year-old Spaniard's other campaigns, dating back to 2005, has ended with him lifting the trophy. However, Schwartzman beat Nadal in straight sets on the clay in Rome last month, a result that both admit could have a bearing on Friday's contest. And that's it from sports. Back to you, Omoye.
And that's the news, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines.